Welcome to the Workforce Connections podcast, where we discuss workforce development in Southern Nevada. Here's your host.
Hi, and welcome to the WC podcast, where we explore workforce development issues in Southern Nevada. Today's guest is a member of the Workforce Connections Board representing WIOA Title IV Vocational Rehabilitation. Drazen, welcome to the podcast.
All right. Thank you, Jaime. I really appreciate you inviting me to the podcast.
Yeah. I'd like to first congratulating you on your recent promotion to administrator for the Vocational Rehabilitation Division for DETR. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you so much. Definitely super humbled about the opportunity to kind of lead vocational rehabilitation to these somewhat challenging and historic times, probably.
Very challenging times. I'd like for you to maybe share with us, what are some of the top things that you now as the new administrator are going to be focusing on, or you would like to see the division focus on in these upcoming months?
Right. I appreciate that question. I mean, there's so many different, challenges that we are facing, but definitely some of the most important ones is ensuring that we have certain fiscal stabilization of the agency. We're definitely encountering some challenges in terms of ensuring that we have secure and stable certain sources of funding. So we're kind of focusing on that. The other part is just rebuilding our staff internally in terms of like a lot of folks who are on the operation end of our agency, and kind of ensuring that we have some of those positions filled. Also, even bigger challenges our programmatic staff. Individuals who are working with individuals with disabilities and in providing different services. That seems to be a challenge that Nevada is not unique in experiencing. But nonetheless, we are committed to ensuring that we serve all the individuals with disabilities that come to our door. So I want to make sure that we have appropriate staffing there and professionals who have the knowledge and expertise in kind of serving our clients appropriately. So those are some of the most important ones. And as a basis of everything is us kind of going back to basics and remembering what we are there to do, who we are there to serve, how can we best deliver the services. So that kind of return to basics will be one of our kind of driving, mottos in the next year or so.
That's a lot on your plate, you know. I can tell you're going to be very busy. So, Drazen, as the local workforce development board, as you know, we only administer Title I, which is one of the 17 funding streams. And in this case, Voc Rehab Title IV is another one. But we are called as a board to convene all the partners and, of course, to provide seats on the board for those representations. You represent Title IV. Why is it important for Voc Rehab to have a seat on the local workforce development board?
Thank you, Jaime. I really appreciate this question. I think one of the main reasons why vocational rehabilitation is on the local workforce board is to ensure that the voices of individual with disabilities are heard in terms of how we can help ensure that that the local business community is aware of the untapped talent pool that our agency represents, of different benefits that we can provide to employers and employees in terms of the training, in terms of assisting individuals in how they can obtain employment, maintain employment. And at the end of the day, I think individual disabilities are in many areas of our community are really underrepresented. I think individual disabilities, what some folks are not aware of, is that they represent the largest minority group in the nation in terms of the size, but also it's a group that any one of us can become member of any part of in our lives. So it's important that this group is heard in terms of what the needs are as far as them being employees, but also some potential business opportunities that businesses can tap into in terms of how they can better serve these individuals and also kind of expand their customer base.
And Drazen, I couldn't agree more. I think my eyes were open twice about this population that you serve. Number one, when I met Sephora as an employer and their commitment to have a large number, I can't remember, it's 30, 40, or 50% of their workforce to be from this target population, it really requires, again, a focus, and agencies like ours to go in there and support those employers and those job seekers and connect that supply-demand equation by removing the barriers in between to employment. And then I went to your facility on Charleston, where, again, I was used to seeing two of your representatives here in our one-stop in an office like ours. But it wasn't until I went to the office on Charleston that I saw so many things. A dog that is there to help train, and fill the gap, special equipment of all kinds. Can you tell us a little bit more about all those resources that are made available to help, again, people with disabilities connect with job opportunities, like with employers like Sephora?
Thank you so much. I get another great point that you're making. So we definitely have, I guess, a couple of different ways that we assist employers in terms of finding new talent, but also to assist those individuals with disabilities that are seeking employment. So we don't have necessarily a customized approach to how we're going to serve an individual. Everybody comes with different set of skills, interests, knowledge, and different needs, different kinds of disabilities. So in how we are approaching these solutions for each different individual it can be very customary. So we provide various, as you mentioned, kind of sources of services to individual disabilities and also to employers. So some of these things can be as simple as on-the-job training that we're going to provide to an employer to actually bring in a professional from the outside that can help this individual train in their particular work setting. It can be a certain level of education, whether we're paying for your college degree or for some other kind of certificate that the individual may require. It could be assistive technology, whether we're talking about software that we can purchase so that businesses themselves do not have to issue this expense. We can purchase a software that they could put on that employee's computer, and so that way they can improve the accessibility of that individual. It could be different job development support as well. And there's also some other tax incentives that we can definitely explore. What I would kind of encourage any employers, whether it's a small business or medium-sized or larger ones, to reach out to our business development team, who will assist them in kind of sharing what all resources we have available for them and how they can kind of tap into this pool talent. I think Voc Rehab, the support that it offers is somewhat unparalleled in terms of developing our workforce. I think a lot of our sister agencies that are there provide some of the more targeted training and support for in kind of prepping individuals for employment. Our support is a lot broader than that. It kind of supports individuals to sometimes from months to years in terms of them developing to enter workforce. So when one of our clients is ready to search for a job, they're definitely equipped with all kinds of skills, certificates, soft skills, hard skills, whatever is needed, whatever gap we are trying to overcome in order for them to find employment. So I know it's a long answer. So hopefully it kind of hits on the...
Yeah, definitely. It was a very comprehensive answer, because that's how I left that day, after understanding, again, the needs of employers when I met and visited Sephora, and then went and visited your facility where all that happens, all those different resources I saw. And of course, they don't apply to every person, because every person has different unique needs, and you guys customize those programs to remove the unique needs and barriers from each one. Now that, again, 18 months ago, the pandemic not only changed Southern Nevada, it changed the world and how we provide services. And so what challenges do you see for us as a system, for you as Voc Rehab, and how we continue to try to provide services under these new circumstances?
Thank you, Jaime. That's definitely a pretty timely question in these kind of times that we're living through, and a pretty broad question. So as far as the future, that's definitely, I think, difficult for any one of us to see, because there's so many different, whether it's variants that are kind of throwing curveballs, as we've just a few months ago have thought that we have the future down, and we were planning for that, and all of a sudden that curveball was thrown in, and we had to kind of pivot to a new understanding. So it's difficult to tell. There's definitely a lot of challenges, especially for individuals with disabilities. I think for some of them, the way that they perceive the risk factor of kind of entering the employment, whether it's physically being present at the employer sites, and some individuals may have co-occurring disabilities, maybe not the disability that is a impediment to their work and to them finding a career, but maybe some other co-occurring disability that may be impacting just how they're working through certain social norms. So there's definitely a lot of challenges. I think the opportunities, but with any kind of historic situation, with any kind of situation where as intense as the one that we're currently living through, there's a lot of different opportunities, and I think there's new ways in which we've trying to find what is a certain work setting, where before we were very focused on offices. Now I think there's a lot more virtual offices. The companies are going away from maybe having that brick and mortar type presence in a location. They're kind of resisting more online, which is just providing us with a lot more areas to explore in terms of where folks can go in, as far as their careers and as far as them earning for their living.
So yeah, we still have a lot of work ahead of us. Like you said, we're learning about this virtual world and the delivery of service in that virtual world. Another thing I remember really opening my eyes when I went to visit your facility in Charleston Boulevard was the fact that, of course, you also have staff that face the businesses, that are working with the businesses, again, to connect that supply-demand equation of the workers with the businesses. And that takes me to the next question, which is about the Employee business hubs. As you know, we partner with DETR to try to find a more streamlined way, and not just with DETR, by the way, but also with business and industry, Nevada Department of Business and Industry, also with the Chambers of Commerce and the LVGEA, to be able to have a more streamlined message and point of contact for all these businesses, for their members. And we have invited, a staff from you've been there with your staff to these Employee business hubs. What do you think about that idea of trying to, all of us on the government side, to try to work together to streamline the access point for businesses into our system that can be, as you said, very broad sometimes and very difficult to navigate for employers?
No, I mean, I love the idea. I thought the idea to have this business hub is very innovative. In a sense, we have a hub for all the employees as they come to look for a job, and there was certain expectation that the businesses would just go off of that list, and we didn't really have this centralized place where folks can, small business owner, medium business owner, can just come and be exposed to various services the government provides. So I thought it was great, very innovative, very timely as it appears to be in this kind of, as we are living through this COVID environment, as businesses are struggling to figure out what all resources are available for them. I think the fact that you guys have thought of this hub is pretty remarkable. So I think it shows what the best of government, when you really kind of combine the innovative approach with certain timely execution of that idea, and then the follow through to ensure that not just that we've implemented this idea, but let's make sure that it's actually working how we intended it to work, and continuously adjusting that. So I think that's amazing. I think that will just, the Southern Nevada's economy can only benefit from such a model. So definitely applaud you guys' work and development there. So.
Thank you, Drazen. And we are committed, of course, to continue to work with you, so you are a part of that solution. I think part of the validation we've received is, first, it started at the Vegas Chamber of Commerce, which is the only chamber of commerce in the country to host the public workforce system, a one-stop for employers, which we thought was great. And of course, the Sahara West Library followed, another beautiful location that we can host employers in for everything from career fairs to industry mixers to workshops for small businesses, as you said. But the most recent validation we've received is, because that was such we've served over, I think, 240 small businesses so far, both Mayor Lee from North Las Vegas and Mayor March from Henderson toured those sites and loved the idea. So they asked us to come have a presence in their city hall buildings.
Wow.
And so we, next week on Tuesday, will be inaugurating the Employee MV Business Hub in North Las Vegas City Hall. And then a week later, we'll be inaugurating the Employee MV Business Hub at the City of Henderson City Hall. Uh-huh. And so as employers go to City Hall to get their business license or their certifications or do their plan checks, they will also have, again, an access point to our system that's conveniently located to where they already are. So even though it's great to be in a Chamber of Commerce or in a library or in other places, these are just more points of access for businesses to have quick, streamlined access to our program. So we hope that you will join us in one of those celebrations if your schedule allows.
Absolutely. I really appreciate the invite. I would definitely do my best to come to at least one of those. Again, I think really these business hubs and kind of how you're expanding it just continues to elevate the level of service that we are providing to businesses. I think at the end of the day, businesses don't really look at what kind of a government setting we're coming from, whether it's a municipality, a state, a federal government. At the end of the day, they need certain services. They're paying taxes in one sum, so they should get services through one central point of contact. And I think this is just moving to that direction. So great work, and I'll look to continue our partnership.
Okay, Drazen, we appreciate you being a member of our board for these past few years. We look forward to you continuing to be the voice of Voc Rehab and the programs that you administer and the population that your programs serve, and helping us solve, again, this supply-demand equation of connecting employers to our ready workforce. And so as we approach the end of our podcast, I would like to cede the microphone to you one more time to share any departing thoughts that you might want to leave with our listeners.
Thank you, Hami. Again, appreciate the invite to the podcast. Definitely enjoyed chatting with you. Just a couple of brief thoughts at the end. First, for any individuals with disabilities, they're looking for employment. Just inviting anybody that's interested to apply for our services at DETR.nv.gov. Go to the rehabilitation page. You'll find an online application there. Please, a few brief questions, fill it out, and we would definitely will be more than happy to assist you in finding your employment needs, meeting any kind of challenges that you have, and providing services for those. There's no charge for our services, so please seek us out. As far as the employers, again, we are, and as I mentioned earlier, we're an untapped source of pool that maybe you haven't heard of. There's a lot of folks who like to say we are one of the state's best kept secrets, and our really goal is to try to stay away from having that label. We want to be more well-known secret, I guess, if that's, and to ensure that employers really know what type of services they're able to receive from us, how we can help with their recruiting and hiring needs, and them finding really great sources of talent and well-educated, well-prepared workforce. So if any employer is interested in this kind of support, please reach out to us either at at Workforce Connection website or DETR.nv.gov at the Rehabilitation Division page. We also have contact information there. So thank you again.
Will do, Drazen. And I believe your presence here today and what you've shared with us will help make Voc Rehab transition from a best-kept secret to the best-known asset for people with disabilities and employers that want to recruit and hire that population. So thank you again for being on our podcast.
Appreciate it.
So that's all for our episode today. Please join us on the next one. Until then, stay safe. Okay, Drazen, thank you so much for staying over for our Against the Wall, our bonus segment. The first section is called Your Favorites. I'm going to give you a category, and you're going to give me your favorite one from that category. Are you ready?
All right, whenever you are.
Your favorite food?
let's say it's the Serbian dish called cevapi. It's like little sausage links. So
I like that. Your favorite book?
This is a more challenging one.
You can have a few.
So,
Or you can pass.
Let's pass.
Okay. Your favorite city to visit?
Belgrade. It's a city I grew up in Serbia. So.
That's a beautiful city. Your favorite place to go with your family?
Let's say to the beaches. Love enjoy there, going with kids and family. So amazing time.
Nice. Your favorite musical artist or group?
So I think one that I would probably love, the group through which I learned a lot of my English as I was growing up initially would probably be Metallica. So stick with that.
Wow. And your favorite holiday?
Christmas, definitely something that goes back to my religious upbringing and just an amazing time to kind of spend with family and those closest to you. So I love that time.
You can't beat Christmas. Okay, our second section is called Tough Choices. I'm going to give you two choices and you'll pick the one that you prefer. Would you rather vacation or staycation?
You know, if you asked me this probably before the pandemic, I'll probably say staycation, but I think we've been doing that for a long time. So at this point, vacationing.
Yes. And are you a night person or morning person?
You know, as I got older, I think that has changed. So I'll probably say morning person now. You know, I think it's difficult not to be when you have young kids. Otherwise,
would you rather lose sleep or skip a meal?
I'll skip a meal any day.
Would you rather owe money or owe a favor?
Ooh, I don't like owing money, so let's owe a favor.
Okay. Do you enjoy the city or the countryside more?
I would say probably countryside. It just I think goes back to some of the childhood memories, and some of the best ones came from visiting grandparents in countryside. So,
yep, I agree. Justice or grace?
Man, I would have to pick both. This is difficult to choose from.
That is a hard one. Next one is hard too. Actions or words?
Actions are always more important. Words, anybody can say anything, but I think at the end of the day, whether it goes back to whether we're going to be good leaders, it goes back to how we are as humans. So I think actions are always very important.
I agree. Now we're going to go to the last section, which is called Finish the Sentence. So I'm going to give you a few unfinished sentences, and you will finish them for me. The first one says, not many people know Drazen likes to
go running in the morning.
Drazen's favorite way to relax is?
Reading a book, watching some of the favorite TV shows, spending time with kids. I guess difficult to pick one.
That's good. The best part of living in Southern Nevada is?
Just so many different ways to experience life, different things. I think it's difficult to find a place that has such great opportunity for you to either go swimming at the Lake Mead, maybe now, not this year, but it's definitely a great place for that. But at the same time, go skiing and also live in a desert and all within a few mile radius. So just definitely love the combination between the nature and kind of man-made entertainment aspects of the city.
So true. 3 words that describes Drazen are?
I would probably lead off with passionate about everything that I try to do, family person, loves to learn.
Very good. And the last question, doing the WC podcast today was?
Absolutely amazing.
Great. Well, thank you, Drazen, for staying over and doing the bonus segment with us today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.